Good morning, Daleville. I'm Katie Tate.
And I'm Jimmy Bowen.
And this is your DHS News for Tuesday, September 17th.
Here today's
sports results.
The varsity cross-country team ran the Wildcat Classic this weekend. For the guys, Eli led with a 38th place, Cameron Lycan 62nd, Co Weston 74th, Austin Tungate 132nd. The girls were led by Audrey Schlepler 48th, Kennedy Scott 101st, Hannah Whitehouse 102nd, Marissa Ingrid 107th, Denise Vidalia 112th, and Taylor Carpenter 117th.
The Lady Volley Broncs have an away game at Blue River. JV starts at 6.
Tonight is senior night for girls golf. Make sure to come out to Crestview Golf Course.
And here are today's announcements.
Just a reminder, any senior or senior parent that is wanting to go to the senior class trip to New York needs to register by September 30th. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Dickerson.
On Tuesday, September 24th, there will be a call-out informational meeting for Daleville academic teams in Mr. Wilson's room. Academic Super Bowl is a competition where students test their knowledge in math, science, English, social studies, and fine arts against each other in other schools across the state. This year, the theme is Roaring Twenties. We hope to see you there.
Upcoming college visits. There will be a representative from St. Mary's College here tomorrow during Success for any juniors or seniors looking to find out more about St. Mary's College.
There will be a representative from
Wabash College
here on the 19th during Success for any juniors or seniors looking to find out more about
Wabash College.
There will be a representative here from Indiana Westland here next Wednesday the 25th during Success for any juniors or seniors looking to find out more about IWU.
Attention all high schoolers in grades 9 through 12. If you're interested in learning about Spanish and Latin American cultures outside the Spanish class, come join the Daleville Spanish Club. We meet after school every Friday starting at 3:15 in Mr. Park's room. The deadline for joining is Friday, September 27th, so be sure to make at least one meeting.
Call-out meeting Wednesday, September 25th for all high school students interested in wrestling this year after school in the Play-Doh Lab.
Today's study tables will be Miss Chris in the library.
On September 17, 1787, the delegates to the Constitutional Convention met for the last time to sign the document they had created.
Today we celebrate the 232nd anniversary of the signing of our U.S. Constitution.
Today we take an in-depth look at the Constitution.
The Constitutional Convention was held because the Articles, our first real government, did not work for our nation. The convention was originally going to revise the Articles, but secretly the plan was to form a whole new government. It was written in the Assembly Room of the Pennsylvania State House, also known as Independence Hall.
There are many important dates that led up to the signing of the Constitution. In 1775, the Revolutionary War between the colonies and Britain began. A year later, the Declaration of Independence was written, and the 13 colonies became states. They weren't united under one central government yet. In 1781, the last battle of the Revolutionary War took place, and the states set up a federal government under the Articles of Confederation. From 1786 to 1787, Shays' Rebellion showed the weaknesses of the Articles and called for reform.
The Constitution is important because it protects individual freedoms and its fundamental principles govern the United States. The Constitution puts the government's power in the hands of the citizens, and it limits the power of the government and establishes a system of checks and balances.
The Founding Fathers decided to write a constitution because it defines taxes and guards against the taxation without representation that they experienced with England. The Founding Fathers also thought it was important to guard individual freedoms in the Constitution. Because they believed this, they also addressed the freedoms that each citizen would be guaranteed by the government.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off with our main founding fathers here. We have George Washington from Virginia. He was general during the Revolutionary War. He was the first president of the new United States after the founding of the Constitution. But he also kind of secretly didn't necessarily want to be president. He just kind of got forced into the role. It's a little known fact about him. So then we have Alexander Hamilton from New York. He was the main writer of the Federalist Papers, which persuaded many people to ratify the Constitution, and he also notably created the National Bank. Then we have Benjamin Franklin from Pennsylvania. He was one of the first great American philosophers. He was also one of the first main American authors, and he helped draft the Declaration of Independence. And then we have Thomas Jefferson from Virginia. He was the main writer of the Declaration of Independence, and notably he worked as Secretary of State and Vice President before becoming president, winning the election of 1800. And then we have James Madison from Virginia. He devised the plan for a three-part government, coining the name Father of the Constitution. He helped write the influential Federalist Papers. He was the co-founder of those, and he became president in 1808. So here are the rest of the founding fathers. We have Abraham Baldwin of Georgia, Richard Bassett of Delaware, Gunning Bedford Jr. of Delaware, John Blair from Virginia, William Blount from North Carolina, Jacob Broome from Delaware, Pierce Butler from South Carolina, Daniel Carroll from Maryland, George Clymer from Pennsylvania, Jonathan Dayton from New Jersey, John Dickinson from Delaware, William Few from Georgia, Thomas Fitzsimmons from Pennsylvania, Nicholas Gilman from New Hampshire, Nathaniel Gorman from Maryland, Jared Ingersoll from Pennsylvania, Daniel St. Thomas Jennifer from Maryland, William Samuel Johnson from Connecticut, Rufus King from Maryland, John Landon from New Hampshire, William Livingston from New Jersey, James McHenry from Maryland, Thomas Mifflin from Pennsylvania, Governor Morris from Pennsylvania, Robert Morris from Pennsylvania, William Patterson from New Jersey, C. Coatsworth Pinckney from South Carolina, Charles Pinckney from South Carolina, George Reed from Delaware, John Rutledge from South Carolina, Roger Sherman from Connecticut, Richard Dobbs Speight from North Carolina, Hugh Williamson from North Carolina, and James Wilson from Pennsylvania. All right, so there are all your founding fathers that had a part in creating the Constitution of the United States.
The preamble. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Amendment 1, we have the rights to religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. And 2, we have the right to bear arms. Number 3, the quartering of soldiers. Number 4, the right to search and seizure. Number 5, we have grand jury, double jeopardy, self-incrimination, and due process. For amendment number 6, we have the rights of accused in criminal prosecutions, rights to jury trial, to confront opposing witnesses, and to counsel. 7, we have the right to a jury trial. Number 8, we have protections against excessive bail, cruel and unusual punishment. 9, we have non-enumerated rights. Amendment number 10 is the rights reserved to states. 11, we have suits against the state. Number 12, we have the election of president and a vice president. Next, we have the abolishment of slavery and involuntary servitude. 14, we have protects rights against state infringements, defines citizenship, prohibits states from interfering with privileges and immunities, requires due process and equal protection, punishes states for denying vote, and disqualifies Confederate officials and debts. Amendment 15 is voting rights. 16 is federal income tax. Amendment number 17 is popular election of senators. 18, we have prohibition. Amendment 19 gives women the right to vote. Amendment 20 is the commencement of presidential term and succession. Number 21 repeals the 18th Amendment of Prohibition. Amendment 22 gives a 2-term limit on how long a president can serve. 23, we have the District of Columbia's presidential vote. Amendment number 24, we have the abolishment of poll tax requirement in federal elections. 25, presidential vacancy, disability, and ability. Amendment 26 gives people the right to vote at age 18. 27th Amendment is congressional compensation.
There are 4 ways how an amendment is ratified and added to the Constitution. First, both houses proposed an amendment with a 2/3 vote, and 3/4 of the state legislatures approve. Second, both houses proposed an amendment with a 2/3 vote, and 3/4 of the states approve the amendment via ratifying conventions. Third, 2/3 of the state legislatures call on Congress to hold a constitutional convention, and 3/4 of the state legislatures approve the amendment. The fourth way is that 2/3 of the state legislatures call on Congress to hold a constitutional convention, and 3/4 of the states approve the amendment via ratifying conventions.
Yesterday, 8th grader Cheyenne Carter, 8th grader Emerson Eichhorn, sophomore Emmylou Isom, and freshman Matthew Purdy celebrated their birthdays. Today, junior Tommy Kellum celebrates his birthday.
That's all, folks.
Remember, it's a great day to be a Bronco.